Mastering exploratory data analysis. We're digging through data to uncover the hidden truth behind a mysterious problem. Which specific phenomenon or pattern in the data are we attempting to explain or understand through our exploratory data analysis? And what is the underlying problem or question that we are trying to address or solve? When conducting exploratory data analysis, EDA, our primary objective is to thoroughly examine and summarize the main characteristics of a dataset to gain a deeper understanding of the data's underlying structure and patterns. In essence, we aim to identify the underlying phenomenon or pattern in the data that warrants explanation or understanding. This endeavor is driven by a specific problem or question that necessitates investigation. To elucidate, let's consider a hypothetical scenario where we are tasked with analyzing a dataset related to customer purchases at an e-commerce website. Upon receiving the dataset, our initial task is to formulate a clear research question or hypothesis that guides our EDA. For instance, we might pose the question, what factors contribute to higher customer spending on our platform? Or how do customer demographics influence purchase behavior? By posing such questions, we are essentially framing the problem or phenomenon we aim to understand or explain. In this context, our EDA efforts will revolve around uncovering patterns, relationships, or correlations within the data that can shed light on the underlying mechanisms driving customer spending or purchase behavior. To arrive at meaningful insights, our EDA should encompass a multifaceted approach, incorporating various techniques to summarize, visualize, and model the data. This might involve 1. Descriptive statistics, calculating summary statistics, mean, median, mode, standard deviation, etc., to grasp the central tendency, dispersion, and distribution of key variables, such as customer age, purchase amount, or product categories. 2. Data visualization, employing plots, histograms, scatter plots, bar charts, etc., to illustrate the distribution of variables, relationships between them, and potential outliers or anomalies. 3. Correlation analysis, computing correlation coefficients, Pearson, Spearman, etc., to identify strong associations between variables, such as the relationship between customer age and purchase frequency. 4. Dimensionality reduction, applying techniques like PCA, principal component analysis, or TSNE, T-distributed stochastic neighbor embedding, to reduce the dataset's dimensionality, uncover hidden patterns, and visualize high-dimensional data. 5. Clustering, utilizing algorithms like k-means or hierarchical clustering to identify distinct customer segments based on their purchasing behavior, demographics, or other relevant characteristics. By adopting this structured approach, we can systematically explore the dataset, uncover meaningful patterns, and develop a deeper understanding of the underlying phenomenon driving customer spending or purchase behavior. Ultimately, this enhanced understanding can inform data-driven business decisions, such as targeted marketing campaigns, product recommendations, or personalized promotions. Through EDA, we can distill the essential characteristics of the data, identify areas that require further investigation, and formulate well-informed hypotheses for subsequent modeling or hypothesis testing. By doing so, we can unravel the complexities of the data, expose hidden relationships, and provide actionable insights that drive business value. The thrill of the chase. I recall a particularly intriguing exploration I embarked upon, where I found myself knee-deep in a sea of numbers, determined to unearth the hidden truths beneath the surface. It was an exercise in moral fortitude, really, the kind that tests one's mettle, forcing you to confront the ambiguities and uncertainties that hide in every corner of the data. My quest began innocently enough. I was tasked with examining the sales patterns of a fledgling e-commerce platform, with the goal of identifying areas ripe for optimization. Sounds straightforward, doesn't it? But, as I delved deeper, I began to sense the presence of an unseen force, a silent influencer that was driving customer behavior in ways both subtle and profound. At first, the numbers seemed to tell a story of unbridled growth, a skyrocketing sales curve, with customers clamoring to get their hands on the latest merchandise. But I sensed a dissonance, a faint hum of discord that refused to be silenced. It was as if the data was trying to convey a message, to whisper secrets that only I could hear. As I dug deeper, poring over the datasets, I began to notice a curious correlation between customer demographics and purchase history. It seemed that certain segments of the customer base were disproportionately loyal, returning time and again to make repeat purchases. But what lay beneath this phenomenon? Was it a consequence of savvy marketing or something more nuanced? I recall the sense of trepidation that gripped me as I began to uncover a pattern of subtle biases that, left unchecked, could have far-reaching implications. It was as if the data was holding up a mirror, reflecting back at me the imperfections of the system. With each successive iteration, I felt the weight of responsibility settling upon my shoulders. It was no longer about optimizing sales or maximizing revenue. It was about unearthing the truth, and doing so with integrity. I began to realize that the data was not just a collection of numbers, but a window into the very fabric of human behavior. The path forward was fraught with uncertainty, but I was determined to persevere. I pored over the data, questioning every assumption, challenging every finding. And then, it hit me, a eureka moment that would change the course of the project. It turned out that the bias was not in the data itself, but in the way it was being collected. A seemingly innocuous variable, buried deep within the dataset, was exerting a profound influence on customer behavior. The revelation was both exhilarating and unsettling, for it revealed the dark underbelly of the system. In that moment, I felt a sense of pride and trepidation. Pride, because I had pushed through the uncertainty, and trepidation, because I knew that the findings would not be easily digested. The data had spoken, and its message was both uncomfortable and illuminating. As I presented my findings, I knew that the stakes were high. The fate of the platform hung in the balance, and the choices we made would have far-reaching consequences. It was no longer about the data, it was about the people behind the numbers. In the end, we chose to act with integrity, to confront the biases head-on, and to forge a new path forward. It was not an easy decision, but it was the right one. As I look back, I realized that the journey was not about the data, it was about the values we hold dear: fairness, justice, and the pursuit of truth. And so, as I sit here, reflecting on that journey, I am reminded of the power of data to reveal, to provoke, and to inspire. It is a double-edged sword, capable of illuminating the darkest recesses of our nature, or of concealing the truth beneath a veneer of objectivity. The choice, ultimately, lies with us, to wield it with wisdom, compassion, and a deep reverence for the human experience.